With the hardcore wipe in full swing, acquiring gear has become more difficult. And that means every piece of loot is a battle, every bullet a currency. And every decision could leave you face down in the dirt wearing nothing but regrets. That's why you need to unlock Jaeger now. With each trader locked at level 1, you have to use each vendor for their maximum value, which means milking every barter deal, quest opportunity, and unlock condition like your survival depends on it, because in this wipe, it absolutely does. You're not shopping anymore, you're strategizing. Jaeger isn't just selling gear, he's selling you a fighting chance and one-off items only he can provide. So here's a list of some of the best barters and purchasable items to help you survive. We'll start off with ammo. We have, first and foremost, the 7.62x51 Ultra Nozzler. It has 105 damage, 15 penetration, 20% chance to cause heavy bleed, and a 20% chance to cause light bleed. And then we have the 366 Gexa and the 366 FMJ. The Gexa has 110 damage with 14 penetration, 30% chance for light bleed, 10% chance for heavy bleed. The FMJ has 98 damage with 23 penetration, 25% chance for heavy bleed, and a 20% chance for light bleed. Next up, we have the 7.62x54R HPBT. It's 102 damage with 26 penetration. After that, we have the Peleva 3 Slug, sitting at 17 penetration and 140 damage. It does give a plus 110% accuracy boost with a minus 15 to your recoil. You have all three of the hollow point rounds, the 5.45, the 5.56, and the 7.62. For the 5.45 hollow point, we have 76 damage with 9 penetration, a 15% chance for heavy bleed, and a 15% chance for light bleed. For the 7.62 hollow point, we have 80 damage with 15 penetration, with 15% on heavy and light bleed. And then for the 5.56 hollow point, we have 79 damage with 7 penetration, and again, 15% chance to cause heavy and light bleeds. After that, we have the 9x39 FMJ. 75 damage with 17 penetration, a minus 5 to your recoil, and a plus 5 to your accuracy. And last but not least, we have the 7.62x25 TT LRN PC. 66 damage with 7 penetration, but it gives a plus 10% accuracy and a minus 10 to your recoil, with a 10% chance for heavy bleed and a 15% chance for light bleeds. So those are some of the best rounds that you can purchase from Jaeger at this time. We can go ahead and just go over some of the better points about those, especially when it comes to comparing like damage and penetration and things like that to the other traders, right?
Right. Well, like damage plays such a big part now with the hardcore wipe. You have less face shields, less good helmets, so you're hitting more flesh. So having the high damage and the bleeding chances on a lot of these rounds makes them such a good thing to get early on.
Yeah, you're running into a lot of players that are under geared.
Yeah, and it can win you a fight at times, because if you're up against a team and you get one or two good shots in, you know, if it's a two-man, then one guy might have to back out and then heal, so you got a one-on-one for that short time, enough time, you know, to kill him and then get the other guy. It buys you time that, you know, you don't get with just normal rounds, because they don't have to worry about the bleeds.
Yeah, like with the 7.62x54R HPBT, while it is a heavy hitting round, if you hit arms or legs, it's just going to tear through them, and you know they don't have to do as much healing to get back in the fight. Where with the bleed chance stuff, you at least have a chance of ripping through the arm, blacking it out, as well as giving it a bleed too. So you know it adds time to the healing process.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised the 7.62x54R, the HPBT, does not have a bleed chance on it, considering it's a hollow point bullet. I don't know if it's just a game balancing thing where they figure it's already such a high damage round that they didn't want to provide it any more buffs.
Possibly. Well, and these can only be bought from Jaeger.
Yeah.
Sure, there's ammos that are in those same calibers from the other traders, but you're not getting the bleed chances or the high damage or decent pen that you're getting.
Yeah, I'm pretty
the Jaeger
sure
options are just overall better, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jaeger is the only place to get 3.66 ammo and 7.62x51 ammo and 7.62x54. And possibly a couple more. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the only one for 357 and for 50 Action Express.
I think he is the only one for the 50 and the 357.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty sure he is.
Now the shotgun rounds are more common. He's got a lot more variations though, and honestly, shotgun rounds, I feel like they're probably underutilized because it's just not something that people think about because they're so common. It's so easy to get them off scavs. You got 7mm buckshot just laying everywhere, but
yeah, and as bad as 7mm is, it's still not horrible. It's a pretty good round.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You talk about, only having 3 pin, but you're not going to need to pin any armor if you shoot someone in the face, and you have 8 projectiles, each one putting out 39 damage per projectile. So it's like that will one tap anybody to the face. Well, not anybody, but any PMC.
Right.
It's not bosses, but it's a deadly
round.
round.
I mean, it's easy to look at the baseline numbers on, especially the 7mm buckshot, because 3 penetration and 39 damage. You're like, oh, if I hit them anywhere, it's bouncing off. But specifically, and I would say especially with the hardcore wipe, players aren't that geared. You don't have as many players running around with face masks and over armored helmets, the killer helmets and things like that. Are they out there? Yeah. Is it something you run into all the time? Not at all.
No.
So even your quote unquote worst shotgun round is still pretty valued. And I mean, the damage output is insane. You are dealing an immense amount of damage off a single shot with some of these rounds. And if you know that you can't pin certain armors, just don't aim for those armors. Like you shoot in the legs, like using the 5.45 or 5.56 or even the 7.62, any of the hollow point rounds, shooting in the arms, legs, and potentially in the face, those are devastating shots. Sure, you're gonna have a hard time pinning high tier armors, but you're not running into those as much. And I think that's the main thing we want to stress here about this, is that you can get away with running these high damage, low pin rounds specifically for those reasons.
Yeah, some of these can even like 2-tap thoraxes, even with like level 2 armor.
Yeah,
like, you can still 2-tap a thorax. A lot of these, if they're not even wearing armor, anything over 85 damage is going to 1-tap them to the thorax.
Yeah, it's lethal.
Yeah, and almost all of these ammos are above 85. You talk about the 7.62x51 Ultra Nozzler, that's 105 damage. And then you have the 3.66 Gexa, that's 110 damage. And then, it's just there's so many options that really, when you have them in the right scenario, such as right now, they really perform great.
Yeah, they outperform my expectations a lot of the times. And we have tested these quote-unquote lesser ammos pretty extensively. Yeah. And we can, without a doubt, even when we were dealing with more armored players, good shot placement shines through every time because the amount of damage you're dealing, right? Yeah. So I guess following up the ammo, since you need something to, project the projectiles, let's go ahead and go into the guns. So we have just a few that are really noteworthy. We have the OP-SKS. It is a 7.62x39 rifle. And then we have the VP-209, which is a 3.66 TKM semi-auto rifle. And then for the shotguns, we have the MP-133, the MP-153, and then the MP-18. And then we also have the bolt action, the VPO-215 Gornastay. And the great thing about these is they're usable with almost all the rounds up there. Anything that we had mentioned, for the 3.66, 7.62, 7.62x54R, and then any of the shotgun rounds, like you can get these from Jaeger. And another thing I should have mentioned this earlier, but these rounds and guns are relatively cheap in comparison to some of the other items that you can buy from other traders. So not only are you getting a value round, but it's crazy high damage, and then you're also getting a gun that is manageably priced too. Like it's all pretty reasonable and definitely worth trying out and checking out right now. But yeah, all these guns take the ammo that he provides. They're all very usable firearms in most in-raid situations. And then you have things like the MP-18, which is going to let you complete your shotgun tasks. You have the Gornastay, which is going to let you do your Tarkov shooter tasks. Yeah, I mean, for what you get from Jaeger, sure, you have to buy some of the attachments from other vendors. But overall, Jaeger offers you good guns at a good baseline price that can be pretty heavily modded and turned into something a little more viable, I guess. But even stock guns with the quote-unquote bad rounds are still more than viable in this economy that we're in right now.
Yeah, these guns stock with the ammo that we highlighted. That's enough. That's all you need. basically all of these are probably your cheapest entry into having a kit that's going to give you a chance against most other guns and most other armors. The shotguns speak for themselves. We all know, they're easy to find, but they're also very deadly in the right hands if someone knows what they're doing.
I mean, you
The
can
bolt
snipe
action
with slugs, right?
You can, yeah, 100%. But like the bolt action especially is worth mentioning because this is the only place you can buy one at the moment, and
That's true.
you have a
And
lot
it's
of early
cheap.
tasks. Yeah, a lot of early tasks that require having a bolt action. It comes with a rail on it, so you can also throw a scope on there if you have one or if you need to buy one. It also has a suppressor that you can put on it, and with the 366 ammo you can get, it just turns it into one of the best early weapons. And same like you said about the MP18, it is a rifle that shoots Mosin rounds, 7.62 54R, but it is in the shotgun category.
Classified,
So yeah, you can actually use it for shotgun tasks, which for like certain shotgun tasks, this thing's great because you can just sit back and snipe people. There are upgrades where you can put scopes and
Polymer
things on it.
stock and
Yeah,
scopes and
you can't get them right now, but those make that gun just a sniper rifle, and you can sit back and get kills that count for shotgun kills. So there's a lot of versatility with what Jaeger offers here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just guns and ammo. There's still plenty of parts that he offers as well. And for attachments, we have things like the PK06, which is a great early sight. We have the 25 and 30 millimeter scope mount barters and purchase. We have the Cobra reflex sight. We also have the Axion Cobra dovetail mount. And then we have the 25 millimeter scope mount, but you can pair that with the 4X Pilad, which gives you a pretty decent 4X for scope or for long range situations. We have the VPO 215 scope rail mount. We have the OPSKS dovetail mount, the Arbalay Mosin mount, the M700 Badger ordnance scope rail, and then the 30 millimeter scope mount. Oh, sorry, I already mentioned that. But yeah, it's worth mentioning twice. That barter for it's a little bit harder to get. We'll be honest about that because you do need a specific key for it. You have to have the W safe key.
Yeah, just a weapon safe key, but I'm not sure which one. I've never had it. Like anytime I went to do that trade, I've never had it. And then when I go to click on it, it tells me that I don't have it inspected. So I'm not sure what what key it is.
Yeah, I know there's at least one that does say W safe on it, but I thought there were more than one.
Yeah, there's several.
There were
there's
multiple weapon safe
several,
keys, right?
Yeah.
So, but we'll start at the top and just kind of work down. The PK06 used to be like the meta sight,
Yeah.
right? Reflex wise, it's still pretty solid. It's got a low profile, a clean sight line or sight picture. Like it's still very usable. I like the PK06.
Yeah, and I just noticed this. It no longer has a ergo hit on it, so that's pretty big actually.
That is pretty big. That makes that more usable then.
Yeah, it used to have a -2 ergo hit. I'm pretty sure it was two or three.
It was minus. Yeah, it was. I think it was -2.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so
But yeah, the ergo hit is gone. That makes that even better. Looking for a great reflex that's clean and low profile, so it's not taking up a bunch of your peripheral vision and things like that. PK06. And it's cheap. $11K.
yeah, it's not as great as it used
Pretty
to be.
reasonably priced.
People used to love it because it was really clean and the actual red dot inside was not floaty. They have since then made it where it's not as clean and it is a little floaty. That was because Nikita said once they had used it in real life, he realized it wasn't as good as how they had it portrayed in game. Since then, it's kind of fell off, but I feel like now, noticing there's no ergo hit, that's more of a reason to rock that thing.
Yeah. Then we have the 25 millimeter scope mount with the 4X Pilad, and that's a total of 44,000 rubles, and you have a 4X scope.
No, it's 24,000.
Oh yeah, it is 2,393.
Yeah.
So yeah, even cheaper, 24,000 rubles, half the price of what my dumbass just said. So 24,000 rubles, you have a 4X that can be mounted on anything with a Picatinny rail.
Yeah, which is the only one in game right now that you can get a hold of.
That's what I was going to say. 4X may not be the best option for you, but if you are specifically sniping, you're probably carrying a pistol or something for backup anyway, so you're using something else for that close to mid-range and using the 4X for what it is as a sniper scope. I actually kind of like it. The sight picture's kind of clean. Like, it's not
Yeah.
the best scope in the world, but for something that you want mounted on a rifle right now,
Yeah.
I have no real complaints about it. I think it's pretty solid, especially for the price.
Yeah, like you said, you pair it with a pistol or even a laser on your gun for up close, and
Yeah, just
then
hip fire. Yeah.
yeah, that gives you a huge advantage right now, considering scopes are so scarce, and you can just buy that from Jaeger like whenever you want it. Now it does have a limit, but the limit is 6, and then the actual mount.
You can buy 6 scopes and mounts.
Okay, yeah, so that's plenty. I mean, if you lose that many,
Yep.
then that sucks. So, but that's plenty.
We also have the Cobra reflex sight.
Another good sight.
Yeah, this thing's solid, especially with I don't think Jaeger sells it. I think it's another trader that does, but there's
yeah,
the eye cup for it, so it
yeah,
gives you a little bit cleaner picture. Not a necessity, but definitely worth it.
yeah. It gives you. I think it gives you 3 plus 3 ergo, so it ends up making it a positive ergo when you run it, because the scope itself is a -2, but then like you
Plus
said,
3 for the eye cup.
yeah, that really makes it a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's relatively cheap, 20K. Which I know all this sounds inflated, and that's because it is. The hardcore
Yeah.
prices are obviously up, but we are looking at it from, within that justification of the hardcore pricing. I actually run this a lot. I don't necessarily care for the dovetail mount stuff as much. If I can avoid it, I'd rather just go right onto a Picatinny rail. But that's just style preference, honestly. But yeah, this thing's solid. It's a good choice. When it comes to reflexes between this and the PK06, if I'm on a budget, I'm going PK06. But if I'm not too worried and we're balling out, right, I'm going to take the EKP every time.
Right. No, but talking about price, that's basically the whole reason we're talking about this, because right now we're limited to level 1 traders. All of them are level 1. You're not getting them to level 2. So everything that everyone has is all you're getting. And you have to pick what's available. And right now, Jaeger has probably some of the best things that you can get. Even though the price is up there, it's just what we have to deal with at the moment.
Also, just getting Jaeger unlocked as early as possible gives you a huge advantage because of the above listed things, right? And there's more to go, but just to say that, it's
right.
Unlocking Jaeger gives you a lot of value. But yeah, so after that we have a handful of like scope rail mounts. We have the VPO 215, so the Gornistay can get scope put on it. You have the OPSKS dovetail mount, the Mosin rifle mount, the Arbalay Mosin mount, and then the M700 Badger, ordnance scope rail. So just those alone are worth their weight in gold, in my opinion, because
Right.
how often is it like it's hard enough to find the scope and the mount, but then you also have to find the rail to fit the rifle.
Right.
It can be a challenge, and Jaeger opening up so many options for you to be able to use Mosin, M700, VPO,
Yeah.
the SKS. Like he really has a lot of available options for scope mounts, which is really cool.
Yeah, and that's a big upgrade for any rifle. If you have the ability to attach a scope, then that's usually the first thing I go for. Is either if I have a scope, definitely wanting to put it on there, but a lot of these guns you can't just throw a scope on there. You have to get a mount, you have to get a rail, and it just having Jaeger open gives you that ability.
Jaeger being the only way to get scope mounts, along with being the only trader with a long range scope that is not dovetail mounted, is pretty cool. It's again just another reason to go grind and get the letter. I mean, it's one of the easier tasks too. We've all done it 150 times. Moving on, we have some of the kit pieces and things like that. So like, yeah, sure, you always need your guns, you need your ammo, you need your mounts, you need all those things, but you also are going to need backpacks and rigs. And he does actually have reasonably priced items for that. He has the VKBO backpack, and then he also has the UMCA rig, the UMCA M33 Set 1 Hunter Vest. With it, you get a decent amount of space. You get a 4-slot, 4 2-slots, and then 4 single slots. You get 16 slots total. It's pretty solid. Sure, it's not the best looking thing, but when, money's tight, you've been losing kits, you need the extra space, it's great. And then the VKBO, I like it because it is cheap. Sure, it's an 8-slot, but compared to Ragman's 6-slot backpack for 10k or his 9-slot backpack for 17k, you get an 8-slot for 11.6. I think that's a pretty good deal. I think it's fair, and it's not blue, right? So you're not just sticking out like a sore thumb for no reason. And then after that, you have a few bonus pieces, just little extra things that he sells that kind of, sweeten the deal a bit. The main one being the green flare. For 8,000 rubles, you can buy a green flare. You don't have to worry about being the one to find it. You don't have to worry about, trying to be the one to find it, at least, because most times, you go ground zero, streets, wherever, to get your green flare, so you can use the flare extract, and it's already gone. So Jaeger unlock, if nothing else, you're able to extract where you want to extract with the green flare, which is handy, right? I think that's probably one of the better things he sells, just because of not having to worry about finding it in raid, not having to worry about much of anything else involved with it. You always have it. It goes in your special slot. It's a great deal. Great to have.
That's the big part. You can throw it in the special slot. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to be there until you use it.
Yeah. The other things that he sells, which would be a dog tag case, it's a pretty reasonable barter in my opinion. It's a VHS tape and a military flash drive. With money not really being too big of a concern, at least like selling on the flea market wise and stuff like that, you're going to find extra VHS tapes and extra military flash drives. Having a dog tags case saves you space in your junk box or backpacks or rigs, wherever you're collecting. It's a single slot item, and it opens up to be 100 slots. So, I mean, sure, it's dog tags only, but they stack up. They stack up pretty quickly too. He also sells a compass, which currently we don't really have a reason for in game, but the other item that we do have use for that he does sell is the rangefinder. There's a couple tasks that require you to be at certain distances and things, right? Like there's the kill Sturman and then there's kill scavs or PMCs from a certain distance, right?
Yeah, there's several. I think there's a total of like 5 or 6 now in the game where you have to have certain distances. One of them right now that we're actually going to be doing soon would be like the bolt action kills from 40 meters, and then you got another one that's bolt action kills from like 100 meters, I think. So that's 2. Because
there's the ones with iron sight, and then there's the one where you can just use whatever.
Right.
So the rangefinder definitely comes in handy, and you can't guarantee you're going to be able to get the raptor in raid all the time. Right. So rangefinder, once again, it goes in your special slot. Right now we don't have a lot of use for special slot items. Paracord, pretty handy, but if you don't have the Red Rebel, not handy at all. So currently what my special slots look like, it is multi-tool, CMS, and the rangefinder. But I've been swapping out the multi-tool and the green flare because the green flare seems like a little more value overall. I like being able to strip parts, but at the same time, it's not the biggest thing in the world. I'm going to take the gun out and sell it if it's broken anyways. So, and if it's not broken, it's something we're keeping because of the hardcore wipe. Is there anything else that he sells that's worth mentioning?
One more thing, and that is the CMS barter.
You mean there's no other way to get a CMS kit?
I don't believe there is. Actually, you know what? I think you can craft one.
You can probably craft one, but
as far as buying
you're gonna get Jaeger unlocked before you have the craft available in most scenarios.
And in the state that the game's in right now, being the hardcore wipe, you're going to need CMS kits.
Yeah, being able to craft 1 or 2 every so often is only going to be worth so much. With Jaeger 3 sets of nippers, you get a CMS kit. You can barter 2 of them. Nippers seem pretty easy to find. I've passed up several of them, not realizing there was a good barter from Jaeger because I hadn't unlocked him at the time. So I guess if you haven't got him yet, start picking them up so you're ahead of the schedule.
I will say this. Nippers can be tricky because I don't see them a lot. Now, I do know a couple places where I do see them a lot, and that is in the building with the gray roof, the big building at the sawmill, like Sturman's little building. I do find them in there quite often. And
I find them in toolboxes pretty consistently.
But knowing that you need them, I'm sure you'll be able to find them. And any way to access CMS kits right now is a great barter.
Yeah, stockpile them, get as many up as you can because you're definitely going to need them. And with them lowering the usage, the CMS is a 3 use, and the Serve 12, if you can even find one, is down to 9 uses. Sure, that lasts a little while, but it's pretty easy to go through those things pretty quickly. So. But yeah, definitely get Jaeger unlocked as quick as possible. Do what you can to get that done. He has a lot of great value, a lot of really useful parts, a lot of awesome guns that you can get a lot of progress done with. Just the ammos alone are completely above and beyond a lot of the stuff that you're going to find on scavs.
And one last thing, just on unlocking Jaeger, it's like most wipes, you look at it as, oh, that's that annoying task where I got to go to where the airplane is on woods and probably get camped. You know, I'll just put that off, do it later. I'm not worried about it. You know, I'll just do all these other tasks and, you know, get mechanic up to level 2. He's got some good stuff. Or get prapper up to 2. He's got some good stuff. Well, you can't do that now. You're stuck at level 1. So this is not the annoying task on woods. This is now a great way to get gear that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Yeah, this is a lifeline to things that are a little bit better than what you should probably have your hands on.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, just a quick heads up. While editing today's video, BSG unlocked Jaeger level 2 as well as Therapist and Prapper. So while everything we talk about in this video is still relevant and useful, this is just all the more reason to get Jaeger unlocked as quick as you can and start grinding that rep out now. If you haven't unlocked him yet, do it ASAP. Level 2 Jaeger is a serious upgrade, which we will cover along with some of the other highlights of level 2 Prapper and Therapist in an upcoming video. Back to you in the studio, big dog. I think that covers just about everything, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and drop your go-to early wipe kit in the comments. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to 1K. It helps us out a lot and keeps you up to date with all of our content. Thanks to our subscribers, and a special thanks to our channel members. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member below. We'll catch you next week. See ya.